You need to do better, Marvel Studios.
Now available in paperback and e-readers, Spellbound, A Darker Shade of Black. Get your copy today at your favorite online bookseller.
Coming to paperback and e-readers, John Haynes, A Thorn in My Side. The man who rules the world takes on an agent from the CIA from the Black Boule in this action-packed all-new John Haynes series adventure. Pre-order your copy of John Haynes' A Thorn in My Side at Amazon.com and other online booksellers. Better get the coleslaw, y'all, cause we're having us a barbecue. A lot of black people are getting upset on social media regarding the Marvel Cinematic Universe movie Captain America Brave New World. Now, Captain America Brave New World features Anthony Mackie, a black actor, playing the role of Sam Wilson, a man who was selected by Steve Rogers to become the next Captain America in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And as Anthony Mackie is playing this role, a lot of black people are getting caught up in arguments on social media regarding the validity of Sam Wilson being the next Captain America. And as they've been going online, they've become extremely polarized. And as they've become polarized, they've started taking things extremely personal and going into vitriolic comments in an effort to go out here and defend Sam Wilson. Now, what they are not defending really is Sam Wilson as Captain America. No, what a lot of these black people actually are defending is their quest to find white acceptance. And Sam Wilson basically is just another attachment that these black people are using to hope to create a covert contract with white society, hoping that if they go out here and support this character that is made by the Disney Corporation, they will be able to get an opportunity to get acceptance by the overall white society. Now, what's happening here is that we've got a lot of spellbound black folks who see Sam Wilson as a new box that they can fit themselves into to gain the acceptance of white people. And what they are upset about is somebody challenging their opportunity to be able to get fit into white society, because that's what they believe Sam Wilson is representing. And this is why they get so defensive as related to anyone challenging the overall movie of Captain America Brave New World, because what they really want to do is fit into the overall world of white society. And as they look to fit into the overall world of white society, sadly, many of these black people, because they are spellbound and caught up in their quest for white acceptance, are not really thinking critically about what the Disney Corporation and the media arm of white supremacy is doing to manipulate them as related to this whole movie of Captain America Brave New World. Now, when it comes to the Disney Corporation, they made Sam Wilson Captain America in the all-new, all-different Marvel around 2015. And when it came to Sam Wilson as Captain America, he was the poorest selling character in the all-new, all-different Marvel. And that's what has many of the white and non-black comic fans, and even some of the black comic fans like myself, really disappointed about him being picked for this role, because when it came down to Sam Wilson, he really, again, did not sell very well as a character, nor did he really get over as a character in the all-new, all-different Marvel, because audiences vehemently rejected him in the role of Captain America in the comics, and he basically was given the role in Avengers Endgame, the movie that he was a part of, because that was adapted from the material, because what the Marvel was hoping to do was adapt the all-new, all-different Marvel, and was hoping to go out here and try to get people to accept Sam Wilson as Captain America, even though audiences from the world of comics had already rejected this character. and overall rejected this character in the Marvel comic book universe. But that didn't stop Marvel Studios from looking to go out here and adapt this character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And this is what many black people who never really read comics don't know what's going on behind the scenes over at Marvel Studios. Over at Marvel Studios, basically, they have been struggling creatively as related to their movies. And as they've been struggling creatively with their movies, the box office for a lot of their movies has been in a state of decline. And as their movies have been in a state of decline, Disney needs to go out here and pull a finesse in order to go out here and try to make money as related to their films, which are waning in popularity. And what they are doing right now in an effort to try to save the box office of Captain America Brave New World is putting a lot of bootlicks and shills out here and having them go out here and run interference to go out here and defend the movie. Moreover, they're using a lot of spellbound black folks to go out here and defend a movie which basically is one of the biggest flops in U.S. history. Now, a lot of these folks, they want to get into arguments over Captain America Brave New World regarding the budget. Now, I have information from sources like IMDb that show that this budget was not $189 million. No, the budget was actually $375 million. But because a lot of white media outlets went out here and pulled some spin, a lot of these spellbound black folks are sitting there believing that it was actually $189 million, when in actuality the film cost over $375 million. And there are numerous articles to basically validate that as fact. Unfortunately, when you go to black people, they go out here and because they're spellbound and they have an attachment to this movie to be able to it being their gateway to being accepted by white people, they go out here and get defensive whenever you present facts to them regarding this movie. And whenever you present facts to these black people, instead of listening to the facts, what they do is get emotional and start going into ad hominem attacks. And they go into these ad hominem attacks because what they believe you're doing is not just disagreeing with them. What they believe you're doing is preventing them from having their opportunity to be accepted by overall white society. And as people go out here, they're getting caught up in all of this rhetoric, not seeing that they're actually being manipulated by the media arm of white supremacy, being manipulated by the media arm of white supremacy to buy into this movie, and again buy into all of the rhetoric revolving this movie, because Disney basically knows that they have a movie that's definitely a certified box office failure, even though it opened up with $192 million worldwide, because this film actually, with its actual budget, has to make $1.5 billion just to break even, because when it comes to movies, a movie has to make 3 times its production budget in order to break even. And with Captain America Brave New World costing $375 million, it's just not going to break even based on the actual statistics for the movie. Now, the actual statistics for the 3-day weekend was $88 million, and that $88 million, basically in America, that was not a strong opening for a movie that cost $375 million, because that actual opening means that this film in America opened lower than Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, which was considered to be the first flop of Marvel Studios. But many of these media outlets, they go out here and they will count the American box office and the international box office of $192 million, which was over a course of 4 days, and in America and abroad, to basically gaslight the audience into believing that this film was a hit, when in actuality this film was a box office failure, and a box office failure because if your film isn't opening strong on opening weekend, then you have very little chance of being able to continue maintaining that momentum. You have very little chance of being able to maintain that momentum because when it comes to a film, again, a film has to open with strong numbers, like in the case of 2002's Spider-Man, a film that basically, again, opened at I believe 80 to $100 million, and again this film only had $100 million budget, but it went on to make $400 million over the course of 2002 and became the #1 movie of the year. And this is what happens when movies are made. The studios want to pull a profit, but Disney knows it has a lemon, and what they really want to do is go out here and bamboozle the black audience. Bamboozle the black audience because they know that the black audience is very gullible, and they know that the black audience is very desperate for characters in their own image. And as they know that the black audience is desperate for characters in their own image, they know they can go out here and give that audience any character, and those black people who are spellbound will run to the theater. Moreover, those black people will go out here and vehemently look to defend that movie on social media without ever thinking critically about that movie or thinking about what is being put in front of them. Now, what's happening here is no different than what happened in 2018 with the movie Black Panther. Now, the movie Black Panther was the first MCU movie to feature a black character, and as the first movie to feature a black character, a lot of black people again got spellbound once more because again they were not interested in just the character of the Black Panther. No, what they again were looking for was another ticket to white acceptance, and this is what led to a lot of black people rushing to go out here to see Black Panther. And black people in 2018 made Black Panther the #1 movie in the world and made it one of the biggest blockbusters of the year, and basically led to that film going on a road to making $1 billion and establishing an actual fantasy market for black characters. And ever since then, Disney has been working hard to try to prevent that from ever becoming a genre, trying to sabotage the entire black fantasy market as related to films, with a whole lot of films that they have made that to be box office failures, like one made by Oprah Winfrey, and I can't remember the name of it, but the whole thing was a box office failure, and they secretly worked behind the scenes to sabotage Black Panther Wakanda Forever. There's been a campaign to again try to keep black films like this from being popular. However, there were not any spellbound black folks going out here to defend either of those movies, and that's something that I found to be quite interesting. I mean, when it comes to black people, some of them, they show up for, again, the first movie that's really popular, like Black Panther, or they'll show up for a Captain America Brave New World, but these same people, you don't see them going out here and looking to support other types of films like Black Panther Wakanda Forever, because the Black Panther Wakanda Forever box office was a lot lower than the box office for Black Panther. And again, that just shows me how the spellbound black person, again, they only want to go see what they believe will get them into the door for white acceptance, not really go out here and support any sort of fantasy film that features a black character, because again, this is all about them getting that social currency and getting in that door for white acceptance. And that's no different than what we saw in the 2024 election with Kamala Harris. Now, if anyone remembers the 2024 presidential election, we saw how Joe Biden was not able to run for office, and as he wasn't able to run for office, his vice president, Kamala Harris, Harris had to take over and run for president. And this is where, again, a whole lot of spellbound black folks got politically polarized. And as they got politically polarized, they were not looking to, again, support Kamala Harris, who wasn't even black. No, she's born of a Jamaican man and an Indian woman and lived in Canada. But these black people, you could not tell them anything as related to that fact because they were so caught up in their feelings because what Kamala Harris represented to them was white acceptance, and because she represented white acceptance, they were willing to go out here and say that Kamala Harris was a black woman, even though she never claimed black people, and even in video came out and said that she could not do anything specifically for black people.
I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
But because these black people were spellbound and saw her as a gateway towards white acceptance, we had whole groups of black people so polarized and caught up in their feelings about Kamala Harris, again, not caught up in whatever agenda she was representing, not caught up in whatever policy she was presenting, not looking at her record of persecuting foundational black American men in jail during her time as a prosecutor and an attorney general, or her quest to go out here and persecute black women for the truancy of children. No, none of those black people ever looked at any of those facts because they were caught up in their feelings about this woman who the white media told them was black, but wasn't black at all. And as people tried to present facts to black people regarding Kamala Harris, a lot of black people, like myself, we could not even make the YouTube videos because these people were so caught up in their feelings that, again, they let their emotions get the better of them as they put fingers to the keyboard and went into ad hominem attacks, getting personal and saying things to people like myself and many other YouTubers who were just trying to present facts to them, but because they kept their feelings into the whole mix, because again, I'm going to repeat it once more, it wasn't about Kamala Harris, the candidate, it was about what she represented, and what she represented was, again, that gateway into white acceptance, and a gateway into white acceptance where the white supremacist basically was presenting black people with a candidate who was substandard, the same way that Captain America Brave New World is how the white media is presenting black people with a substandard movie, with a substandard character, and telling them that this is the best representation of black people. And sadly, too many black people are spellbound and looking to fit into white society to see that they're basically being bamboozled into taking something that is far below par. Now, when it comes to a lot of these white comic fans, yes, some of these guys are grifters. Yes, some of these guys are racist. And I am not defending any of those individuals. No, as a guy who has been a comic fan since he was 4 years old, I basically know these characters, and I know when the studio wants to go out here and give us their very best. And again, their very best was shown in the first phase of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, where we got nearly perfect adaptations that were just like the comic books. I mean, the 2008 Iron Man movie, the 2011 Captain America, the First Avenger, and the incredible and many of those movies that led up to the Avengers were absolutely well done. But when it comes down to this Captain America Brave New World, I mean, instead of giving black comic fans the level of quality that we got somewhat in Black Panther, we are not getting any sort of quality at all. And what's really sad is that the spellbound black person, in their quest for white acceptance, will accept substandard as their standard, because that's what you're getting in Captain America Brave New World. Now, what you're getting in Captain America Brave New World is a narrative that we need to accept Sam Wilson as Captain America, but to me, Sam Wilson as Captain America is just not good enough for me, because what you're getting with Sam Wilson as Captain America is a hand-me-down hero, and a hand-me-down hero is a character who basically gets a costume that is handed down to him from a white man. And he also gets a hand-me-down story. And again, for me, as a creator of black characters, I don't want to see a character that gets something handed down to them, because that really lacks any sort of substance. Because when it comes to a character needs to be their own character with their own mission. And because if you don't have your own mission, then you can't answer the critical question a screenwriter like myself has to answer when I put fingers to the keyboard, and that question is, why should we care? And it's hard to care about Sam Wilson as Captain America because he got his shield handed down to him from Steve Rogers. He got his costume handed down to him from Steve Rogers, and then handed down to him from Wakandan technology. He's never had to go out here and do anything on his own. No, he's never had to do anything on his own to establish his own mission as his own man, and he's never had to go out here and establish his own direction for his own life. And the message sent with Sam Wilson to black people is that you have to accept some white person's leftovers in order to be your own man. And that to me is no different than the people who were our ancestors who were on the slave plantation, who were given the slave master's clothes. Because when that's basically what Sam Wilson looks like to me. A black guy wearing the slave master's clothes that the slave master has no more use for, because usually what happened with the slave master is he either gave somebody his older clothes, and they basically, you had the slaves fighting over these secondhand worn out clothes, and this black people again sacrificing their intangibles of dignity for white acceptance, believing that a white man's secondhand was better than him having his own. And that's why one of the reasons why I say that, this whole Sam Wilson is Captain America. He ain't Captain America to me, because Steve Rogers was Captain America, because Steve Rogers defined himself as a man. He basically fought to become Captain America. He basically made that his own hero. And Sam Wilson, again, is wearing a hand-me-down costume, no different than the black woman who basically found her suit in the wreckage of a plane crash and just decided to put it on. And to me, black people, we need to, again, as Sam Wilson would say in his thing when he tried to go after the senator, do better. We deserve better. I'll go even further than that and say we deserve better than somebody's hand-me-down characters. No, we deserve to have our own characters, and we deserve to have characters with full origin stories that are our own, like with Virgil Hawkins when he became Static, or with Augustus Freeman who became Icon, or even with characters I created like Matilda Crowley as she became the Black Widow in the novel Spellbound, and characters like John Haynes in The Temptation of John Haynes, where we see this character again laying the foundation for their own mission, for their own direction, and being the front and center of their own story. That's what I want to see with black characters. I don't want to see some black guy, again, finding somebody else's suit or being given somebody else's something as related to getting power. I want to see a black person going out here and forging their own road and becoming their own person. I believe we deserve that as our standard instead of accepting somebody else's substandard, because that's what, to me, Captain America Brave New World represents. It doesn't represent a Brave New World as related to black characters. It represents the same old white supremacy, and it represents the same old white supremacy to me, because what it is that the white supremacist is, again, giving you a hand-me-down character in a hand-me-down story. I mean, Captain America Brave New World doesn't give Sam Wilson his own villains, doesn't give him his own rogues gallery. No, it cut and pasted the characters from The Incredible Hulk from 2008 into a movie, and again has Sam Wilson taking on the insurmountable challenge of taking on characters that basically The Incredible Hulk had a challenge with. And that's, again, white supremacy giving the black man an impossible challenge to overcome instead of giving him his own adversity and his own struggles, because they basically don't see or regard his struggles as anything important at all. No, when it comes to the people at Disney, they did not have much respect for Sam Wilson, and they basically didn't really want him to be seen front and center as a lead character. No, that's why they gave him the cut and pasted characters and the cut and pasted gimmick of Wakandan armor. Again, they put no real thought into this. They didn't want Sam Wilson to be having the same powers as Steve Rogers or Bucky Barnes. No, they didn't want him to be a super soldier. No, what they wanted him to be was a super stand-in and be the super token, who would basically make it look like passively they were all about diversity and inclusion, when in actuality what they were doing was just basically looking to pull a cash grab with this movie, which a lot of people don't know was actually shot multiple times, because the original plot was to feature a character named Diamondback from a run of Captain America comics with Mark Ruhnwald and Seth Rollins, who was a wrestler who's popular in the WWE, playing one of those members of the Serpent Society. However, all that footage got cut because the test audiences didn't like that plot for the movie, and that's how we got this whole puerile plot talking about adamantium and celestials, again taken from other movies like Eternals and the villains of the Incredible Hulk. All of this stuff was basically cut and pasted and thrown together because the film that they had made was not of any sort of quality. But what they're doing now, because they've spent so much money on this film, as much as Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, is looking to again get their money on the backs of black people, no different than they did with Black Panther. But in the case of both of those movies, they were not again looking to give anything tangible to the black audience. No, what they were looking to do was go out here and basically make whatever movie that they were going to make, get the cash grab from the black audience, but not go out here and actively look to go out here and support the entire genre of black fantasy and black science fiction. No, they weren't looking to actively support that at all, because when it came down to other projects, they didn't put any more money in any other black projects, even though black fantasy and black science fiction is a growing genre. None of these people at Disney wanted to spend money, and they didn't want to spend money because in their eyes, they basically know that they can manipulate the black masses because for them, the brand of Marvel means white acceptance. And again, black people as a group, sadly, a lot of us, we chase white acceptance and look to fit ourselves into boxes that are acceptable to white people. And that's the main reason why so many black people are caught up in a frenzy over Captain America Brave New World. Now, the critical question I gotta ask all those black folks who are sitting up there getting in a frenzy, the same way black people got in a frenzy over Black Panther, the same way they got into a frenzy over Kamala Harris, is would you go out here and get that in your feelings about a black character created from a black creator like myself? I ask that critical question because when it comes to these same Spellbound black folks, we don't see them running up to go out here and defend independent black characters by black creators. You don't see them getting in their feelings in the comment section to the point where they're getting personal. No, if they do get personal, it's to tear down that black creator and tear down that black character, even though black creators like myself, we don't want to go out here and give you some hand-me-down character that was created by a white creator who's going to take your black dollars back to this corporation and get rich at your expense and give you something of poor quality. No, when it comes down to black creators like myself, the reason why I've got a peeve with this movie is because this movie just gives black people something substandard and doesn't bring the best to the table the way someone like myself would do. Because to me, when I see black audiences, I have great respect for black audiences, and whenever I put fingers to the keyboard for a novel like The Temptation of John Haynes, or a book like the ISIS series or the Esteem series, I go out here and bring my best to the table, doing meticulous research on things like Egyptian mythology and Nubian mythology, things like corporate America, things like the things as related to science fiction and fantasy. Again, I want to bring you the very best, and I believe that black people deserve the very best as related to storytelling. I believe that you deserve the very best as related to storytelling, and you deserve a character who has their own story, their own mission, and has their own bad guys, and has an organic story that basically shows you why this character is important. I don't believe that a character should just be a title that's easily replaceable. No, a character like a John Haynes or an Isis or an Esteem or a Matilda Crowley, I believe that all of them are unique. I believe all of them are special, and I believe that you deserve a character that is special, has their own fingerprint that can leave a indelible imprint on your consciousness and show you how unique black people are. I believe that you deserve better than a Sam Wilson Captain America. I believe you deserve better than hand-me-down characters in hand-me-down costumes. I believe you deserve better than a character in hand-me-down plots. I believe you deserve characters that have their own stories, their own mission, their own direction, their own voice, because this is about us speaking for ourselves. This is about us telling our own stories, not being a token in somebody else's world, but us being a part of our own world and us having a connection with each other as related to our stories. I believe that we deserve better than a brave new world that really is the same old world of white supremacy. No, I believe we deserve to be part of an actual brave new world, a world where we start to support our own, see our own as valuable, and not have to settle for somebody's second best, because we can do better than second best. I mean, they oftentimes run a video clip of Sam Wilson talking about, you need to do better. No, black people, we deserve better. We deserve better than somebody in a hand-me-down outfit and people going on this quest for white acceptance. Because when you go on that quest for white acceptance, it's like, I'm going to paraphrase Dr. King, you going into Disney's burning house, because that's what you're doing when you support Captain America Brave New World, is you're going into Disney's burning house, a burning house that basically has been falling apart since Avengers Endgame, where they basically compromised the ethics of all their characters, because the reason why Sam Wilson got the shield is because Steve Rogers basically went out here looking to simp for Peggy Carter and basically possibly destroyed the entire timeline of the MCU, because if he's out here with Peggy Carter, how can he be on the Avengers? Critical question I gotta ask Kevin Feige, because he basically destroyed the structure of his universe. And again, you're basically entering into Disney's burning house, which has been burning since Phase 4 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and has been on fire ever since Phase 5 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and getting you to go into a rickety structure, no different than Spellbound black folks went into the structure of integration, integrating yourself into a world that is falling completely apart, instead of looking to go out here and build your own world and be able to create your own world and create a world that where your characters will be the ones in the center. No, a lot of us, again, we don't understand how white supremacy bamboozles the black man and the black woman and the black mind. Bamboozles us because a lot of us basically, again, look for to fit into those black boxes that are acceptable to white people. I go in depth on this in my novel, Spellbound, again, because there's a scene in Spellbound where Matilda is being talked to by a neighbor who lives in Sugar Hill, who talks about how black people walked away from a neighborhood that was considered one of the greatest black neighborhoods in the world in order to be a part of white suburbs. And again, this is us, this is what we do. We keep trying to gain white acceptance and white approval, not understanding that you're leaving your standard, which was exceptionally high, to be a part of somebody else's substandard. And this is this is what many people are missing as related to the argument over Captain America Brave New World. Again, a lot of people get caught up in the rhetoric of the YouTube grifters and the YouTube racists and the racist fanboys. But the whole thing is that they are basically, again, the other side of the coin of business of studios like Disney, again, looking to bamboozle the black audience into buying a character and a story that they themselves would not buy, because the audiences there did not accept Sam Wilson as Captain America. And again, a lot of these people never read the comics, again, with Sam Wilson to see how substandard they were. Again, substandard when you consider that Steve Rogers had far better stories, because I read Captain America ever since the 1970s, and again, these stories, again, were substandard, and again, we deserve books on a higher standard. I mean, when I think of high standard comics that feature black characters, I think of the books written by the late great Dwayne McDuffie, which showed us an actual picture of black life with the first milestone run of comics. I mean, that was a high standard, and many of the independent books by independent creators on places like crowdfunding, there's a lot of great material. But black people have to come out of the spellbound mindset and stop fitting ourselves into a black box that's acceptable to white people, and start looking to go out here and explore a larger world of black people and find out a richer picture of black life, and stop trying to fit ourselves into taking somebody's hand-me-downs, because we can do better by making our own. Now, if you want to check out some of the stories in the SJS Direct universe and see a richer picture of black life and see black characters come to life in a world where we are front and center, you can start with the first SJS Direct universe book, The Temptation of John Haynes, and you can then pick up other books in the SJS Direct universe, like those in the Esteem series, those in the ISIS series, those in the John Haynes series, and those in the Spinsterella trilogy like Spellbound. And with Spellbound, you can learn more about the Spellbound mindset and how to break out of the Spellbound mindset and see a larger world outside of the black box that businesses like Disney want to fit you in and make you a token of. And you can find those stories on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find them at other online booksellers like Draft to Digital, Google Play, Barnes & Noble, and big box retailers like Walmart and Target. And if you want to check out my first full comic from the SJS Direct universe, John Haynes at Death's Door, you can find that comic on Lulu.com for the same price of the 2022 Kickstarter in paperback by clicking a link in the description box. And if you want to check out my first digital comic, Esteem No Good Deed, you can find that comic on Kindle for just 99 cents. And you can also find that comic in the Esteem series book, Esteem Blast from the Past. And if you also want to help out the channel, you can help out by dropping a donation to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. And there you will be able to help me not only stay on the air, but to continue to pay artists to present positive images of black people in my positive stories about the black experience in book covers and interior art, and also help me to be able to try to continue keeping more positive stories about the black experience out here in the marketplace. All of that is with your support, and it's greatly appreciated. So that's what you do for this channel, and I really thank you and appreciate you if you do that. And that's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.
Now available on Lulu, John Haynes at Death's Door. The man who rules the world takes on the Greek god of death in this action-packed, all-new John Haynes comic book. Get your copy of the first John Haynes comic at Lulu.com today. Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited, Isis, All That Glitters. The goddess next door takes on a bikini-clad bank robber in this action-packed, all-new Isis series adventure. Get Isis, All That Glitters in paperback and Kindle Unlimited today. Now available in paperback and e-readers, Esteem Horror of the Hyena Woman. Hell's aspiring angel takes on a wicked werewolf in this action-packed, all-new Esteem series adventure. Get Esteem Horror of the Hyena Woman in paperback and e-readers today. Support black-owned and black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.